Hi, little rabbits. Welcome to Online Learning Week 5. I miss you very much, and I hope you're doing well. Um, I'm up on our Google Classroom page, and I wanted to go over a couple of things with you. First of all, here's the instruction. Here's our Google page. Here's the instruction sheet. First thing on the agenda this week is to attend our 7th grade Zoom meeting on Thursday at 1 o'clock if you'd like help on your grammar sheet. Quite a few of you struggled 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to open that up to anyone who has any questions. I'll take any questions that you have. Now, notice that I have the meeting on Thursday with the grammar sheet due Friday. I want to point out that it must be done using Kami this time, or I'm not going to give credit on it. I highly recommend the text box option that I'm going to demonstrate on the video in just a second. One other thing to mention before I show you that is I went ahead and I've given this to quite a few of you, but I went ahead and put Megan Barnash's contact on here for you. She's our tech gal. And if any of you are still having trouble downloading Kami or figuring any of it out, she is the master and is amazing and nice and friendly and all the things that you would hope she would be. What she can do, she told me, is that she'll do a little Zoom meeting with anyone who needs help and um, get on your computer and see exactly what it is that you're struggling with and walk you through it. Okay, so please contact her if you have any issues. I've given everybody 2 weeks to get it solved, and it's time to move forward with that. Now, as far as Kami goes, one of the features I wanted to show you, first of all, I wanted to do a sample problem of each of these anyway, but this week is imperatives and compound objects. What I wanted to show you is how to use the text box feature. It makes things really easy, and if you're like me, trying to write S and V over it and do all the underlining and stuff really is kind of crazy. So I've played around with it quite a bit, and I've found some easier ways to do this. Now, as far as imperatives, you may recall that they have an implied subject of you. They're commands. Like if someone tells you to take out the trash, they mean you. That's the example we talked about in class a while ago. So every single one of these, as I'm looking at them, has an implied subject of you. So for instance, on this one, the you would go out in the front. I don't mind actually if you put the yous just in the front of each sentence, but let me show you how the text box works. You click on text box, and then whatever color you want. I'm going to go with red just because it shows up well. You put it wherever you want to type, and it creates that little box. Then you use your keypad and type in whatever you want. So there's my implied subject of you. I think that's a little too on top of the word, so I'm going to move my text box over. Get out of caps lock too. Y-O-U. And then you move your little mouse, and it just keeps it there for you. Now, you is the subject, so put a little S over that. Which, by the way, as you go down and do these, you don't have to keep putting S's over it because I know that's going to get too congested. So once you do the one S, I'm fine with that being the only time you put an S over the U's. Give happens to be our verb. So do my little text box again. There you go. Okay. And to create the text box, all you do is go over the word and click your mouse. And then I need to cross out two phrases. So I'm going to get out of text box, go to drawing, and to the water, and in the checkered shirt. Underline my little verb. Not the best underlining, but that's okay. And we're done. Okay, so that makes it very easy. There's an example of how to do number one, imperatives. Now let's go down and show you compound objects. And I'll scroll back up here in a second, but for compound objects, that's when a prepositional phrase carries more than one object. You're used to hearing things like through the fence, under the tree, um, to the zoo, that sort of thing. These have more than one object. So for example, here's a prep phrase, the word without, without a hat. Oh wait, there's more, or an umbrella. Notice that phrase has two objects. So you start at the preposition and cross it out through any objects. Okay, into the rain is another phrase there. And then here's my verb. I'm going to go back to text box because I think it's so much easier. Click over it, type in my little B, and then my subject is right here. I'm going to click over that with my little text box and put a little S. There we have it. Oh, go back to drawing. To do your underlining, you have to go back and click on drawing. If you stay on text box, it'll do this weird highlight thing to it. There we go. See how much cleaner that is than what we were trying to do last week? I think that's a much easier way to go about things. Um, okay, so that's an example of how to do the grammar sheet this week. And remember again, there's a meeting on Zoom on a Zoom meeting on Thursday at 1 for all of 7th grade. I just made one meeting because honestly people weren't coming to the other meetings, so that should be, easy enough to do. If I need to create another one, I can, but for the moment, I'm going to stick with that. All right, next thing on our agenda is read the first two chapters of The Outsiders, pages 1 through 32, and complete the character chart. Please notice this. Be ready for a quiz next week on this week's reading. Hint, hint. So please do that reading in completion so that you're ready for the quiz. It will be a very solid check from my end if you read it or not. So please be sure to do that. I included a PDF of the novel for you, The Outsiders. It's right here. If for some reason your computer doesn't like this PDF and can't open it or something strange, which with technology we always know to kind of count on anything happening, there are lots of copies of The Outsiders online, the full novel, so you won't have trouble finding another one if mine doesn't work. I've already checked into that. It's also available as an audio by a couple of different people, so you're welcome to do that. If you do decide to go audio, I would recommend listening to it while you look at the book. What that does is it increases your reading fluency very quickly because you're hearing it read aloud properly. So if you do go audio, I would follow along with the book while you're doing it. As you're reading or after, whatever order you want, you need to fill in the character chart. Notice I said give a description of each character. Give the character's age, if it's given, how they relate to the rest of the group. I gave you an example. For example, Steve is Soda's best friend. Or if you said like Pony Boy, you could say he's the youngest brother of the three boys in the household, that kind of thing. Then give a brief physical description of them. The book does a good job of that, and their basic personality traits. And mention if they're still in school. If it gives the year in school they are, give that. Or if they have a job, because some of the boys are still in school and the girls, and some of them are working for various reasons. And the book will describe that to you. I wrote, be sure to scroll down to the second page because it does go down to one more character down here. So be sure that you catch that. I think that is all. I love the book, The Outsiders. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. Yeah, I think that's it. Let me know if you have any questions as always. My office hours are from 10 to 11 a.m., but I'm on my computer virtually all day and can get back to you very quickly. Terry, take care, sweethearts. I love you very much. Bye-bye.